Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. And this morning we are gapping up sizably after some news coming out yesterday after the close. And we also kind of have a unique pattern that is in play that I wanted to share with you this morning. So that pattern is 5 consecutive filled gaps, and that's at least 5 consecutive filled gaps. So we've been in a market that has kind of been chopping around and not really finding a direction to pick, which has given us a lot of overlapping price action. In doing so, that means that a lot of the gaps have been filling here recently. So what I want to do is show you this pattern of what has happened historically after at least 5 consecutive filled gaps and then gapping up above the prior day high like we are very likely to do this morning. So I'm going to set this up in all 4 instruments. We're going to use the setup intraday open. This is going to be a long trade, and it will exit at the close of regular trading hours. For opening area, I'm just going to use open above prior day high. There's all kinds of ways that you can slice and dice this gap that we're going to have this morning. And there are some minor differences, so it may be worth checking out on your own if you have access to this, of what the differences are for the different types of gaps that you could potentially be having this morning. But I'm just going to use it opening above prior day high for this pattern. And again, the pattern is day after 5 consecutive filled gaps. So a market that is filling gaps regularly, that has been happening here over the past handful of sessions. And then I'm going to put it above a 10 and 200 day moving average just to be in a somewhat like environment, and click view results. So here we go. So we have 62 samples in the ES, 72 in NASDAQ, 50 in the YM, and 55 in the Russell. And historically, all of these win rates have been north of 60%, some of them a little bit closer to 65%. So YM and Russell right around that 65% marker. ES and NASDAQ just a little bit underneath of it. But as a whole, all of these coming in a very similar win rate here of around 65%. So historically, this has been a pretty favorable pattern for entering long at the open when gapping above the prior day high after 5 consecutive filled gaps and within this bullish market environment. So I actually saw this pattern this morning in our bias alerts package, and it had a bias alert potentially in play if this was opening in the prior day range. So this was showing a long bias if opening in the prior day range. So I went ahead and took that bias and just changed up the opening filter. You can do that with a lot of those bias alerts that are in there, kind of dig into them and see how they react in different markets. But in doing so, this is what I stumbled across, and opening above the prior day high with the same pattern has also been fairly bullish. So hopefully you found that interesting. Good luck today, and we will see you next time.